Alright guys, I am back with another topical video. Now I thought I'll do this kind of topical video because I thought about doing it for a while now. And I'm going to talk about why I became a professional wrestling, or how did I become a professional wrestling fan. And I basically started watching wrestling in 1999. And I remember going to my grandparents' house every other day to watch wrestling. I didn't know what it was or anything like that, so I watched it and I would be hooked on it. I just to see the larger than life characters, just do these awesome things. And the awesome thing, there is no better art form than professional wrestling. Just how it's structured and how unique it is, and as a business, as it is, it's just a unique business. And I just love the pro wrestling business. I mean, I know it's not a good time to be a pro wrestling fan at the minute. It hasn't been for a while, but the reason why I still come back and still do this because of this channel, for number one. Number two, because if it makes the suspense. I always love the suspense of pro wrestling. You will not get that in a soccer game, or if you go to a NFL, or you go to a baseball game or whatever. You don't get the suspense. Okay, you probably do in some games, but I like the suspense to you know what I mean? To not believe that it's not gonna happen. When people say that it was an awesome moment when Hogan body slammed Andre at WrestleMania 3. I could believe it. I mean, I could believe that, man, because I could imagine just how many people popped at that crowd. Man, it's just pretty cool. Or the time that the NWO was born in 1996, or the Attitude Era. Love that era. That's when I started watching wrestling, obviously. So yeah, I just love the art form of pro wrestling. I always have been. I just think it's one of the sports that I've always loved, and even sports entertainment, whatever. It's always been one of the things that I've really had a passion for. I know I've kind of fallen off the bandwagon a couple of times, but I really love pro wrestling. And I know we have our bad times, and I know a lot of people say, oh, it's fake, and hell, isn't The Walking Dead? Do you really see zombies walking the fucking planet? And do you see fucking superheroes and shit like that? So you criticize that pro wrestling's fake, but you would watch a Walking Dead, and you would watch something like a superhero movie or a Star Wars. Okay, why? And you say pro wrestling's fake. Okay, I know pro wrestling's fake, but it's fucking the expense of basically having good storylines out there, which The Walking Dead, which pro wrestling has sometimes had good storylines, and also fucking larger than life characters, man. I love that. So I got into wrestling, and then my favorite wrestler, the first wrestler I watched was Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio. I've told you this story before, guys, but I didn't know who they were. But it's been burnt in my brain that it was Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio. And since then, Eddie Guerrero was one of my favorite wrestlers, and he still is to this day. And then I went over to WWE, which is WWF at the time, and I saw Triple H and DX. This was after Shawn Michaels left DX in '98, and Triple H was a heel, and he was still working with DX, and he was feuding with The Rock and some people like that, after WrestleMania 15 and stuff like that. And that's what really got me hooked on that as well. That's another reason why I got into wrestling, because of Eddie Guerrero, and because I saw DX on TV. Man, DX got me into wrestling as well. Them doing funny stuff, and them dressing up as The Rock, them invading WCW. Those moments to me was awesome. And I was a guy who started watching WCW. I never started watching the WWF first. It was always WCW. So when I went over to WWF in 1999, I was like, man, I should just keep watching WWF, because it was a time then. And then Jericho came over from WCW, and that was pretty cool there. And then you had Eddie come over eventually in 2000, and then you would have Benoit, Dean Malenko, and you would have guys like Perry Saturn, and then obviously I got to see the rise of Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, John Cena, Randy Orton, Brock Lesnar. I saw Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar. I remember One of my favourite feuds in the Ruthless Aggression era was Shawn Michaels versus Triple H. Two of my favourite wrestlers in the professional wrestling business today and of all time. They always have been my two favourite wrestlers of all time. And when they finally faced off, two former best friends facing off at SummerSlam 2002, I was like, yes! My two favourite wrestlers facing off, the two former best friends are finally going to face off in a very good storyline. And when I played that in WWE 2K15, I was like, yes! Finally I get to play my favourite feud from the Ruthless Aggression era, man. And then, we've seen, and then I was introduced to Ring of Honor, and then I saw a bit of, and then TNA, and all the other indie shows like PWG, and New Japan, and recently Lucha Underground, and NXT. So, yeah, that's how I got into pro wrestling. That's how I became a pro wrestling fan. My grandparents, and basically me just seeing these larger-than-life characters, really, and, yeah. I just love professional wrestling, and I know that the business isn't where it should be, like where it was 16 years ago or 15, 16 years ago, but I still love it because, we still have those WrestleMania moments. I still like Daniel Bryan winning the title at WrestleMania 30, or Ric Flair retiring at WrestleMania 24, or you had Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 26. Those are the moments that I still keep watching because I know that somewhere in the WWE or in professional wrestling you're going to have those good matches. Like a Shawn Michaels and an Undertaker, like a Triple H and an Undertaker, like Daniel Bryan main eventing WrestleMania, a guy from Ring of Honor main eventing WrestleMania who's been got super over with the crowd and main eventing WrestleMania. That's the moments when I really say I am glad to be a pro wrestling fan, when they do stuff like that, when they build up a star. I know he had a bit of a fan base, but they built him up into a kind of a mega star, Daniel Bryan. He was because Daniel Bryan was the most over guy since Steve Austin and The Rock. So there you go. And that's how I became a pro wrestling fan. If you like this video, remember to hit the notification button every time I upload, and I'll chat you later. Also guys, got my new mic.